One of Vladimir Putin's most powerful supporters, a man who just won big in a parliamentary election in Russia, makes a menacing prediction. Vladimir Zhirinovsky, an ultra-nationalist firebrand who now leads Russia's third biggest party, warns Americans about their votes.
They're voting for peace on planet Earth if they vote for Trump. But if they vote for Hillary, it's war.
Zhirinovsky said,
I've just received a call from Secretary Clinton. She congratulated us, it's about us, on our victory. And I congratulated her and her family on a very, very hard-fought campaign. I mean, she fought very hard. Today I'm here to talk to you about three crucial words that should be at the center, always, of our foreign policy. Peace through strength. Immediately after taking office, I will ask my generals to present to me a plan within 30 days to defeat and destroy ISIS. Instead of an apology tour, which you saw President Obama give over and over again, I will proudly promote our system of government and our way of life as the best in the world, just like we did in our campaign against communism during the Cold War. At the same time, immigration security is a vital part of our national security. We only want to admit people to our country who will support our values and love our people. They have to love our people. As soon as I take office, I will ask Congress to fully eliminate the defense sequester and will submit a new budget to rebuild our military. It is so depleted. We will rebuild our military. We will also make it a priority to develop defensive and offensive cyber capabilities at our U.S. Cyber Command and recruit the best and brightest Americans. These new investments in cybersecurity and the modernization of our military will spur substantial new job creation in the private sector and help create the jobs and technologies of tomorrow. That's what we have to do. America must be the world's dominant technological powerhouse of the 21st century. And young Americans, including in our inner cities, should get these new jobs. Through training, through education, it will happen. We will work across all racial and income lines to create one American nation.
You have the migration because Syria is such a disaster. And now I hear we want to take in 200,000 Syrians, right? And they could be, listen, they could be ISIS. I don't know. Did you ever see a migration like that? They're all men. And they're all strong-looking guys. Did you see it? They're walking, and there's so many men. There aren't that many women. And I'm saying to myself, why aren't they fighting to save Syria? Why are they migrating all over Europe? Seriously. So now you have this guy, Secretary Kerry, maybe the worst negotiator. I think he will go down as a worse Secretary of State than Hillary Clinton because of the deal. And she was terrible, but I think he's going to go down as worse because of this deal. So now you have him saying, we're going to take in maybe, I mean, the number I'm hearing, it's inconceivable. You know, it started off with 10,000. The other day I heard 200,000. We're going to take in 200,000 Syrians or wherever they come from. We have no idea. There's no identification. There's no anything. And I'll tell you right now, and I'm putting everybody on notice, and hopefully this gets outside of this room, and I guess it will with all these crazy cameras going back there. I'm putting the people on notice that are coming here from Syria as part of this mass migration, that if I win, they're going back. They're going back. I'm telling you. They're going back.
As far as criminal, they're going to be out so fast. If I win, you know, we have tremendous problems. I just gave you an article where an illegal alien ran over today in Texas a policeman 3 times, just kept running them over. Look, we have problems. You have Kate in San Francisco. You have the veteran soldier, this wonderful woman who was 66 years old, a retired vet, who was raped, sodomized, and killed by an illegal alien, or as they would say, an illegal immigrant. And this happened 3 weeks ago in California, but it's happening all over. It's a big problem. Crime is a big problem. You also have wonderful people here.
But so
they came in,
point.
excuse me, they came in illegally. They are here illegally.
But how would you do the logistics of it? How would you do the logistics?
2 things. First of all,
how do you take 11 million people and make them leave?
Fine, you'll do it. It's all a package. Number one, we're going to build a wall. We're going to have people come into the country. I agree,
okay.
But let's go through it. We're going to build a wall. It's going to be a real wall. It's going to be a wall that's powerful and that people aren't going to be going under or up or around or anything else. It's going to be a real wall. And we're going to have a door in the wall. People are going to come into the country legally. And we're going to hopefully get a lot of people coming in, and they're all going to come in legally. We're going to get rid of the bad ones, because we have some really bad ones in here right now. And you know that, gang members in L.A. You look at some of these gangs, they're 100% illegal immigrants. They're going to be gone, okay? And they're going to be gone fast. And they're not going to be in our prisons for us to take care of them. Our prisons are bursting with illegals right now.
What about the law-abiding majority? That's
now
the big
you have
question.
people that came in illegally,
yes,
and they're called illegal immigrants, and they're here illegally. They're going to have to go, and they're going to have to come back in legally. And otherwise, we don't have a country. And if we don't do that, we don't have a country. They're going to have to go, and they're going to have to come in legally. They're going to have to come in through a system.
A Trump administration will change our failed trade policies, and I mean quickly. Thank you. Here are 7 steps I would pursue right away to bring back our jobs. Number 1, I am going to withdraw the United States from the Trans-Pacific Partnership, which has not yet been ratified. I'm going to appoint the toughest and smartest, and I know them all, trade negotiators to fight on behalf of American workers. I'm going to direct the Secretary of Commerce to identify every violation of trade agreements a foreign country is currently using to harm you, the American worker. I will then direct all appropriate agencies to use every tool under American and international law to end these abuses. And abuse is the right word. Number 4, I'm going to tell our NAFTA partners that I intend to immediately renegotiate the terms of that agreement to get a better deal by a lot, not just a little, by a lot for our workers. And if they don't agree to a renegotiation, which they might not, because they're so used to having their own way, not with Trump, they won't have their own way. Then I will submit under Article 2205 of the NAFTA agreement that America intends to withdraw from the deal. Number 5, I'm going to instruct my Treasury Secretary to label China a currency manipulator, which should have been done years ago. Any country that devalues their currency in order to take unfair advantage of the United States, which is many countries, will be met with sharply. And that includes tariffs and taxes. Number 6, I'm going to instruct the U.S. Trade Representative to bring trade cases against China, both in this country and at the WTO. China's unfair subsidy behavior is prohibited by the terms of its entrance to the WTO, and I intend to enforce those rules and regulations, and basically, I intend to enforce the agreements for all countries, including China. 7, if China does not stop its illegal activities, including its theft of American trade secrets, I will use every lawful president. Hey, look, this is very easy. This is so easy. I love saying this. I will use every lawful presidential power to remedy trade disputes, including the application of tariffs consistent with Section 201 and 301 of the Trade Act of 1974 and Section 232 of the Trade Expansion Act of 1962. And when they say trade expansion, they're talking about other countries. They're not talking about us, because there is no expansion. They get the expansion, we get the joblessness. That's the way it works. Not going to happen anymore. President Reagan deployed similar trade measures when motorcycle and semiconductor imports threatened U.S. industry. I remember. His tariff on Japanese motorcycles was 45%, and his tariff to shield America's semiconductor industry was 100%.
Our current tax code is so burdensome and so complex that we waste 9 billion hours a year in tax code compliance. My plan will reduce the current number of brackets from 7 to 3 and dramatically streamline the process. We will work with House Republicans on this plan using the same brackets they have proposed: 12%, 25%, and 33%. For many American workers, their tax rate will be 0. We will be Obamacare is a disaster. You know it. We all know it. It's going up at numbers that nobody's ever seen worldwide. Nobody's ever seen numbers like this for health care. It's only getting worse. In 17, it implodes by itself. Their method of fixing it is to go back and ask Congress for more money, more and more money. And we have right now almost $20 trillion in debt. Obamacare will never work. It's very bad health insurance, far too expensive. And not only expensive for the person that has it, unbelievably expensive for our country. It's going to be one of the biggest line items very shortly. We have to repeal it and replace it with something absolutely much less expensive and something that works, where your plan can actually be tailored. We have to get rid of the lines around the state, artificial lines, where we stop insurance companies from coming in and competing, because they wanted, President Obama and whoever was working on it, they want to leave those lines because that gives the insurance companies essentially monopolies. We want competition. You will have the finest health care plan there is. She wants to go to a single.
Believe me, America's incredible energy potential remains untapped. It's totally self-inflicted. It's a wound, and it's a wound that we have to heal. Under my presidency, we'll accomplish a complete American energy independence. Complete. President Obama entered the United States into the Paris Climate Accords unilaterally and without the permission of Congress. This agreement gives foreign bureaucrats control over how much our energy and how much we use right here in America. So foreign bureaucrats are going to be controlling what we're using and what we're doing on our land in our country. No way. No way.
We're going to cancel the Paris Climate Agreement and stop. Unbelievable. And stop all payments of the United States tax dollars to UN global warming programs.
I think that there'll be little change here. It'll go up. It'll get a little cooler. It'll get a little warmer like it always has for millions of years. It'll get cooler. It'll get warmer. It's called weather. I do believe in clean. And I've received, a lot of people don't know this, I've received many environmental awards, many environmental awards for the work I do. And I believe strongly in clean water and clean air. But I don't believe that what they say, I think it's a big scam for a lot of people to make a lot of money. I want to be able to be self-sufficient for the country. Now, due to the new techniques, things that we didn't even know about 3 or 4 years ago, it turns out we have a virtually unlimited supply of fuel right under our feet due to fracking and many other techniques that frankly are very new, and we are able to take care of ourselves. I know a lot about wind. Wind is destroying a lot of problems. And number one, it's killing the birds and the eagles, and you see what's happening in California with, you know, if you shoot an eagle, a bald eagle, in California, they want to put you in jail, and yet the windmills are killing them by the hundreds.
So you're not a big proponent of wind.
I think it's fine in certain locations. I think it's fine. The problem with wind is it needs tremendous subsidy. Wind needs tremendous subsidy.
I mean, the government's going to have to.
I think wind is fine in certain locations.
Would you invest government money in alternative fuels? Would you do that, or would you just let it go?
I would spend money on certain things. Now, solar always sounds better than it is. You know, you have a 36-year payback. I always want to go solar. I love the idea of solar. And then I do a test, and you get your money back in 36 years. The problem is the panels destroy themselves after 10 years. So it's just, you know, you've got to make it economically viable, Bill. Right now, it's not economically viable.
And if it were...
Your values of love, charity, and faith built this nation. So how can it be that our media treats people of faith so poorly? One of the reasons is that our politicians have really abandoned you to a large extent. And Hillary Clinton, you can forget about her. So let me state this right up front. A Trump administration, our Christian heritage, will be cherished, protected, defended like you've never seen before.